So yeah, in any case, not quite sure what I'll be doing today. Of course, a part of me feels like cleaning, but that's just the part that I may have to ignore. So, what would I be doing? A part of me also feels like sleeping, but I know I can't, because I ate too much sugar now. And then I feel stuffed. And then I have too much acid in my system. And then I don't really feel like sleeping. So you see, it's just a vicious cycle that I've been creating myself because I'm too stupid or ignorant or weak. But that's also what makes you depressed. If you think like this, you start to forget why you're eating sugar. And sometimes it's good to just remind yourself that maybe you are still struggling a bit. But actually, right now I just want to produce videos. And that's just more important to me at the moment than to cook, because cooking would take a lot of time. So by just being honest about this to myself and saying, no, actually right now, eating the right kind of foods isn't really a priority for me. Because, I rather work on it so that I can get the fuck out of here. So that's also important. Just say, well, right now it's actually okay the way it is. So I may just keep going for a while. And then you should just see how you're doing, but also the last couple of days I started to eat more sugar again. And that's just always a downward spiral. Like you keep eating it, you keep eating it, you keep eating it, and you think you have all the energy then. But I just also get a lot of indigestion, and then I feel bloated because of bad stuff like producing gas. So yeah, it's a downward spiral because you're actually not getting more energy. It's too much. Your system can't take it. And then you feel chaos. Like I feel when I leave this room and I don't talk to the camera. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting nuts. Like, so, there's all kinds of, you also have to know what to do with that energy. And right now, of course, I know it in a way, which is to record videos, and yeah, definitely the sugar riles me up and keeps me going. And I just have to trust my feeling on this one. My feeling tells me that roughly until the 2nd of May I want to have all 177 videos recorded. And that's just the date that's like floating around in my mind. And I think I just have to see how far I'm gonna get. And it's also for me, of course, a way to prove to myself that I can manage this. So I'm testing these boundaries, and I may just be repeating myself all the time. That's also a possibility. Because there's also something. You lose track of what you're actually saying. Like some of the videos I made, I don't even remember having made them. Well, that's okay. I might have said that already as well. But yeah. This also doesn't, it's not supposed to make sense in a way. It's not supposed to make sense. It's just supposed to raise questions. And if you don't get that, then don't watch it. You see, a part of me just thinks, if you don't like what I'm doing, then just watch something else. Because this is about me, right? It's about me and how I feel. And I feel like telling you certain things to raise your awareness, that this might be causing issues for you. And if you can't take that, if you watch these videos expecting something magnificent or awesome all the time, well, I cannot fulfill these expectations. And if you want me to make videos that you like, then I can only repeat that. Then I think it's time for you to start making your own videos and realizing, well, it's not that easy, and maybe it's not that hard, depending on your set of skills. Like, to me, it kind of comes easy because I know how to put the camera in a way, right? I don't just do stuff, and I've said that already before as well, because I've had a lot of practice. Like in South Africa, I was making thousands of pictures, and then I realized, it kind of killed taking pictures. It killed photography for me to be able to have like 32 gigabytes SD card, so you can take thousands of pictures. You're never going to look through them. In the end, I just deleted the rest of them. And then I wanted to take pictures only when it serves a purpose. Because in a way, you can love every picture that you make. And you can love every video that you make. Because that's what I do. When I make these things, I'm in love. I love these drawings that I make. I love the music that I make. I love the books that I write, every one of them. And it would probably hurt me on a certain level if people would pick on that. So I also have to be okay to deal with that, because I know what I'm doing. I know I'm challenging people and their beliefs. So there is going to be some negative feedback, of course. It's like the second book, I think, that I wrote with a friend, like The Dignity of the Unvaccinated. And at first it was written in German, and I sent it to the local newspaper here, and she skipped through it, and she said, well, she would do me a favor if they wouldn't say something about it. Like, what? Like, why? Because they're biased. They believe then, everything that's happened in the pandemic, and I just have a different opinion on that. And of course that's also in the book. So she doesn't see the book as the, freedom of speech and stuff. No, she just sees it as, that's all wrong. That's how she sees it. She looks at it and she says it's all wrong. Instead of just reading it and being open towards it. No, she's not open. So then I think like, fuck you. Like, you cannot give me an unbiased review, then don't give me a review at all. Because this is also just about, how it's being presented. But of course you cannot expect everyone to understand the art that you're making. It's like some people will hate what you do, and some people will love it. And that's just a fact. You cannot make it that everybody will love it. It's like when you're cooking a meal. Like my mom yesterday, she cooked something with cabbage, and I just go and without tasting it, I just put salt, pepper, and then I take cumin and grind it and put it on top. And then she's a bit offended because she thinks I don't like her food. Well, that's not entirely true. I just like it a bit different. And that's just, what I'm allowed to do. Before I probably wouldn't have done that because I would have been afraid to hurt somebody's feelings. And now I just do it, I don't even ask. It's like yesterday, after doing all these videos, I went to my favorite spot to slackline, you could say. And there was a couple sitting, watching, there's a bench, and the bench points between those trees where I want to slackline. And it's just 10 meters away, it's not that far. And then there were also young boys, teenagers, smoking weed down there. And then I sat down first, kind of hidden behind the tree, and I was waiting a bit. I was waiting till my surroundings got accustomed to my presence, of course. Yes, on the way I also made quite an entrance, of course I always make an entrance. If I enter the room somehow I just make an entrance for some reason. And it's just the cheat that people can sense in you. It's I don't give a fuck, and everybody knows it. It's having that smirk on your face, good day, goodbye. So I was sitting there and I was just biding my time. So I waited 10 minutes. until I felt comfortable to get up and set up my slackline. And because I also sometimes have to prepare myself for the attention I will get. Because that's just how it is. As soon as I start to go on the slackline, people just stop talking. And for a bit, the focus just rests on me. And you just have to be aware of that if you take the stage, that the focus is suddenly on you. And I just trained already since, I think ever since I started to study, I started to go a bit more to the outward because I was suddenly in an environment where nobody knew me and I could try new things. But for that it was important for me to leave the place where I was born, where people have all these ideas and expectations of me. Of course I didn't really know I was doing this, I was just doing it. But if I wouldn't have gone to study somewhere else, I wouldn't be sitting like here or laying like I do right now. Because it would have taken me much longer to separate myself from other people's opinions of me. So I took my time and then I also thought about just leaving. And I also wanted to get it right? Because I didn't want to set up my slackline in the way that, look at me, I'm awesome. But more like in a way, I'm doing this for myself. Yeah, there's always people. So I give them a bit of time where they can sit there without me slacklining. And when I've done that, that's the respect I give them. Then I put up my slackline and I start. And that's what I mean with, to make them get used to your presence. So when you go somewhere, you enter the room, you don't just jump on the stage right away. Maybe you just go there first and you just, make people get used to you by just walking a bit around and they see you already and they pick you up. And at one point, maybe you go on the stage or something, or you start doing your thing. But then in a calm way, don't play like really loud music. I used to always play music, but now I realized it's better to play no music at all because it's easier to offend people or to get a reaction from people if you play music, because you can never hit everybody's tastes. So if I'm in the park and I play music, maybe 10% like it, but the rest goes to the park because they want quiet. So if I'm playing music there, I also then I have to wonder about, will people like it or won't they like it? And that's why I sometimes don't like playing music. Then I'd rather have others playing music and then they can worry about it. And sometimes people want to play music and then they keep asking you. And then they keep changing song. Oh, do you like this? Oh, you like that? I don't care, man, just play something. Okay, wait. And then you say, wait, then let me play music. No, because they don't like your music. And then you have to let them skip through songs all the time because they get insecure that you might not like it. But then they want to, find something that you really like. That's just the topic. People want you to like their stuff. Well, I don't care what you listen to, as long as it makes you happy. But why does it have to be a problem for me now? I just wanted to listen to music, and now I feel like, not listening to it at all anymore, because you can't decide on something and just let it play. But I know how it feels, of course. You turn on some music and people don't react to it, and you think, do you like it? It's alright. And then it's easier to let them play music. Because sometimes people play music, they actually feel chilled about it. But then it's also for you to get used to that. Because now somebody else is playing music, and then it's your job to just get used to it and to say, it's okay. Sometimes I play music, sometimes other people play music. And both should be fine. And maybe you wait till somebody asks you, hey, maybe can you play music? And you say, yeah, sure, why not? But then also there's one time where we went somewhere, we wanted to dance. And they kept putting on if you want to dance, then you should put dancing music, like good electronic beats. That's how I dance, because you get like in a right? That's just what I like. And then people start playing rock, and then pop, and then hip hop, and then weird party songs that people, you know, can only listen to when they're like shit-faced. And what I like better is like kind of spiritual music. And you can find that on my website, christopher-reusch.com. In the podcast section, there's like 4 playlists that I put up. And one is called Spiritual Music Soft, and the other one, maybe I need to like hold that a bit, Spiritual Music Not So Soft, and also the spiritual music, of course, which I use for like psychedelic mushroom trips, and which I first was introduced to during ayahuasca sessions. So that's where this was inspired from. Yeah, and now this will end.